This lecture is our mini lecture on public goods and externalities. This one's going to focus on what an externality is. Think about what it means for something to be for external use only. That means you apply it to the outside of your body. This is an example of something that we call a market failure. Not applying something to the outside of your body. Whatever you do with your private goods, that's between you and whoever you live with. But a market failure is something that can be created by an externality. When a market doesn't operate efficiently, that is, when the market clearing quantity is not the fairest or most happy-making quantity, we call it a market failure. And market failures are all over the place. When you hear economists talk about how good markets are, keep in mind, they're good at solving a lot of problems, but they also have a lot of problems of their own. So a market exchange can create problems for a third party who's outside the transaction. So if somebody has an outdoor country music festival near your house, and you can hear the music from your backyard, that's an externality. I'm not assuming anything about whether you like country music or not, but it is an externality. It can be negative or positive because the effect of that concert spills over onto you. If you hate country music, it's a negative externality. That's a cost that's being imposed on you. If you like country music, it's a positive externality. That's a benefit you get that was created by somebody else. Once again, a negative externality is a cost that's imposed on you by a different market transaction, one that you're not a party to. A positive externality is a benefit that's imposed on you by a market transaction that you're not a party to. So, examples of positive externalities. Hand washing. When you wash your hands, you're doing it so you don't get sick, or, so you don't get whatever's all over your hands, all over your textbook or your computer or what have you. But other people benefit too. That's why we've been walking around for the past few weeks telling you to wash your damn hands for 20 seconds using soap. You can wash your hands for 20 seconds by singing "Hit the Road, Jack" to yourself twice. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back. No more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. Hand washing creates a positive externality. Negative externality would include vaping. Classic example here is smoking here. Smoking is the classic negative externality because it smells bad and it makes people cough and it's unpleasant. Even for some other smokers, they don't like people smoking around them. However, vaping is something that you do for your own benefit, but it can still have negative effects on other people. One, we've got the public health issues that have been caused by it. I know, a lot of that's from aftermarket transactions, but we're still paying higher taxes to take care of people who are sick or dying because of vaping. But more importantly, there's somebody on campus who vapes the toasted marshmallow scent. And the first time I smelled that, I thought somebody was having a s'mores party on campus. So I walked around a corner looking for student s'mores, and they were completely unavailable. There were no s'mores. There was just a guy vaping. He fooled me with his cloud of lies. Individual demand. It reflects the marginal benefit that a consumer receives from some product. So our marshmallow vaping guy, he decided to vape because he enjoyed the flavor and the smell of toasted marshmallows and presumably the nicotine as well. But very few other people benefited from that. However, maybe some people really liked the smell of marshmallow that his vaping of the toasted marshmallow flavored juice gave off. When we add up all of those individual demands, we get a market demand. And so when we sum up all of those market demands, we get the marginal private benefit of the product. That looks a little bit like this. So the marginal private benefit of an individual gives us the benefit that an individual is getting. When we add on all the social benefits that are created, we get a marginal social benefit, which is labeled MSB in this graph. That marginal social benefit adds up all of the benefits to everybody in society. For most goods, the marginal social benefit and the marginal private benefit are going to be the same. For example, when I eat a slice of pizza, I don't create any benefit for you. I mean, I do a little bit. I'm a little bit happier after I have a slice of pizza, so I give a slightly funnier lecture. You know the drill. But overall, it doesn't create that much of an extra benefit for you. But for goods that create a positive externality, that marginal social benefit increases significantly. For example, you're in school to earn money. I mean, let's not lie about it. You're really in school to earn money. You might say something about the lifetime of learning and how much you enjoy it, but you're in school to earn money. For you, it makes sense for you to pay tuition because you're going to earn more money down the road. But we want you to get an education. Well, I want you to get an education because I make money from it. But employers want you to have an education because it's going to lead you to be a better worker. Workers with more education are not only more efficient for themselves, but they're better able to help other workers as well. So you're not only a better worker all by yourself, but you're going to make other workers good as well. So what do? We pay for part of your education. You're paying for about 48% of the cost of keeping the school open with your tuition and fees. The county and the state, and to a much, much, much lesser extent, the federal government, pays the remainder. Now, another example of negative externalities would be pollution. Negative externality exists when not the benefit, but the cost of an economic agent's action is greater than the cost to the agent. So negative externalities, you get costs. Positive externalities, you get extra benefits. Pollution is a classic example of this. Just think about everybody you know who drives a pickup truck and rolls coal. They're creating all kinds of extra pollution that are, at least in theory, adding to global warming and making cars that are dirt nasty low smell bad because they're driving through the exhaust. But those guys are doing it. They're running fuel inefficient cars. They're throwing off black smoke because they think it's neat. So those pollution issues arise not just from personal consumption, but also from production. Companies produce polluting goods because they're going to make money from them and they don't have to pay to clean up the pollution. So there are a couple of policies that we use to pick up after these things. One thing to keep in mind is that when the quantity of environmental protection is low and pollution is extensive, we can take a couple of really easy steps to reduce pollution. So we can bring that cost down really easily. But as environmental protection increases, as we have more and more regulation, it becomes more expensive to protect every time. Keep in mind, folks, these are all some very big ideas, so make sure you're going over this in the textbook and make sure you're working on the problems that are posted to make sure you're getting the work that you need and developing the understanding that you want. Folks, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be happy to help you with any of this.